this stuff has kind of crept into some other things, especially functions. It's just a set notation. But what is a set? A set is a collection of objects, numbers, ideas. It can be anything. Okay, so if we have a set, it's a group of something. Each different number or whatever it is called an element or member of the set. Okay? How do we define one? So you can either write a list. So, for example, I've got set A here. I've got the numbers 4, 7, 12, 13, and 25. That is my set A. Notice, they're in these curly brackets. I know lots of people hate writing curly brackets, but for sets, you need to try and practice them. And my suggestion is that it's a forward S and then a backwards S. Okay? So this one would be a forwards S and then a backwards S, and then obviously the other way around is a backwards S and then a forwards S. It's just try your best. Don't spend 25 minutes drawing this bracket. Okay? If you can't do it, don't stress too much about it. Just give it your best shot. As I said here, the order doesn't actually matter when you're defining your sets, but you just make sure that you don't have repeats. Alright, so you wouldn't write 4, 7, 12, 4, 13, 7, 25. Okay? Because you can only have one for each number once. So that's by using a list. You could show a pattern. So 3, 6, 9, 12, we've got dot, dot, dot. The dot, dot, dot is indicating that that pattern is continuing. So what kind of numbers are included in this set? What are these numbers that we've got? Multiples of 3, yes? Comfortable with that? Or you could describe it. So this one says all multiples of 4, given. Or you can use an algebraic expression. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that we've seen before. So this is talking inequalities. So this is telling me that our x value is what? Kiara, how am I describing x by you writing it in this way?
Your x is bigger than 3 but smaller than 9.
Awesome. So it's in between 3 and 9. Does it include either of those values?
No.
Good. Okay, happy? Oh, did you read this? No, you did it. Excellent. Yeah, I always give it away by writing it underneath. Anyway. Alright, so, yeah. Okay, so there's lots of different ways of defining stuff. Alright? Essentially, you just need to make sure you're reading carefully. So, types of sets. We have a finite set. Okay, so that means that there are a limited number of elements to that set. So, if I were talking about the year 11 Miss Harrison's maths class, there's a finite number. There's only you guys that are in it. And if I was talking about, no, I can't remember. Multiples. If I was talking about multiples of 7, there obviously that would be infinite. It would keep going forever and ever on it. A null or an empty set. Okay, so if I were talking about the boys in Miss Harrison's Year 11 Maths class, PHS, obviously there are none, so that would be an empty set. It's either shown by literally, oh gosh, that's a rubbish bracket. Okay, so either it's by showing with nothing inside your brackets, or you have a circle with a line through it. Okay, so both of those symbols mean empty set. Yes? With line through it. Okay, some more symbols that we need. E. This fancy E means element or member of a set. Okay, so it's literally a curvy E. Maybe how some of you write what E says, I don't know. So that means it's a member of the set. That symbol with a line through it means not a member of the set. Clever, isn't it? Very clever. Up there for thinking, I think. As I said, this means empty set. It means there's nothing in there. Right, so if we were to match the objects with the correct statement. So we need to, from this list, we're choosing something is a member of fruit. So what up here would be a member of the fruit set? So banana would be an element of fruit. Note green would not be an element of fruit. Green is not a fruit.
Was it the equal one?
No, because this means bananas is a member of fruit. You with me? Now, Mia, whilst we're doing this, perhaps you want to say, what's it doing? Oh, are you okay? Okay, here, so this was fruit in general, so it could have been any fruit. Here, they've listed our set as red, purple, and orange. So what from this list could go in front of here? So which thing in this box would be a member of red, purple, and orange? Jamie? Would all of them? Gabrielle, why did you say just red?
Because it's only just red, purple, and orange.
Good. So actually only the red one would be allowed. Yeah, you happy with that? So whilst the green and blue are also colours, they are not members of the set. Yep. It was done to trick you. Little tricks to trick you. Now. Okay, you got to be careful here. I've tricked you again. This is square. Square is not an element of. Brianna?
Boys in here.
Okay, you can totally write that. You could write boys in year 10 at VHS. What else could you write? Maybe triangles. What else could you write? Green. But they could also write blue. The one I was going for is this one. Okay. Which one was the trick one? Quadratus, because it is an element of that. Alright, okay, so which group would be not an empty set? Emma?
Boys in year 10 at VHS.
Sadly, it must become boys at VHS. Wait, what? Well, no, see, we don't seem to have many boys.
Yeah, there's not really narrowly down in our year.
One at the moment, yes.
There's nothing one.
Okay, oh my god. Alright, okay, so symbols. So this is all just chit chat at the moment about giving you the basics. So symbols. This funny fancy E. Okay? So it doesn't have to look like this. I normally just do an E with a little bit of a tail on it. Okay, so now this is a very important symbol. This symbol indicates the universal set. Now the universal set is something that lots of people forget about when it comes to sets and Venn diagram questions. But the universal set is really important because it is the group of, essentially it's the population that we're talking about. Okay? So I could define something. I could say multiples of 4. And whilst that would go on infinitely, if I had limited my universal set to numbers between 1 and 20, then we would only have the multiples of 4 between 1 and 20. Does that make sense? Say again?
Why can't you just use this, like,
Oh, because that means it's memberable. Okay, so this is universal set. And so it describes the population. So it's important that when you are defining something, that you're actually, that you know what your population is. Okay? That's why here, I actually said boys in year 10 at VHS, because if I had just said boys in year 10, that would have been across the world. I don't know where it is. I had to be a bit more specific there. Okay? So, the universal set defines our population. So when asked to list members or elements of a set, you should also always check the universal set to make sure you've included all the possible values or items. It should also be considered when describing items in a set, an intersection or a union. Oh, now, I'm starting to talk about this, and I haven't talked about intersection or union yet. That's going to be hard. I'll come back to this in a second. So this is just a dash, it's a apostrophe, and that indicates complement. So if you see a apostrophe, it means anything not in A. So for example, if we had described set A as being people wearing jumpers in the classroom, then those of you not wearing jumpers would be in the complement. Does that make sense? Yeah.
That's really unnecessary. No.
Complement means not.
Oh, but then what about the E with the cross in it? Is
That means not an element of.
so it's the same.
No, because the E with a cross is specifically thinking about one person, one item. So you would say, so I would say Gabrielle is not a member of the set of people with jumpers. Okay? I could say that Emma is not a member of the set with jumpers. Or I could say Leonie is a member of the set. However,
So it's singular?
yes, but the member of. If I wanted to talk about all of the girls that don't have jumpers on, then I would say the complement of the set. Emma?
What's the question? Let's just learn.
Do you think normally I would go through something and then say, let's just move on to the next topic, or do you think we might go through some type of questions? Just I think I'm trying to go through a bit of terminology at the moment. Do you think maybe I've finished, or do you think I'm still going? Okay, all's fine. Elena?
So when you're writing a compliment, do you enclose it in the apostrophe?
No, just it would be. Now, do you recall in probability, we talk about complements and probability, things not happening?
You never do
Probably in year 9, yes.
I never talked about it.
So we didn't talk about something. I've never talked about in my life before.
Okay. Alright, withdraw. Okay.
Wait, so how do you write it then?
So you would write, so say for example, people with jumpers is set A. People with jumpers or sweaters, you would say A dash. Other people
And
without
then you would
jumpers.
write all the members of that.
People without.
Oh, so it's just like another category.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a way of describing people. And it's going to come in later with Venn diagrams as well. Okay, I don't. Yeah.
What if A is people without jumpers? Would A apostrophe be people with jumpers?
Totes, yes. It's just the
It's
not.
opposite.
It's just the, it's not, yeah, I can't always say opposite, but yes, it's just the not. What it is the opposite, yeah. Okay?
It's fine.
It's just that, so a situation sometimes is like, when you win or lose something, you can sometimes draw. So it's, if you win, then not win. You have to be careful.
So when you're saying draw, how would that how would that relate to this? Like, how would you explain it?
So the teams that win,
Uh-huh.
but you would have to describe it as the teams that do not win. You can't say the teams that lose, because you're not including everyone otherwise.
Okay, so you're explaining set A is the team the people that won, and A apostrophe would be people that did not win. What would you do if they draw?
They didn't win, so they would
So they
also be in
both-
that section.
Would be
So the people that drew would also be in the not win section because they didn't win.
okay, so there would not even be a set.
Correct. They wouldn't have their own create set
Cool.
unless you created a complement.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So again, I'm sorry, I've put together several different documents, so there are repeats. So again, here's your E being a member of the set. Okay, so we would say 12 is a member of set F, 8 is not a member. Now this symbol here, so it's a kind of a C, if you like. It means it's a subset. Okay, so if something is a subset, it is completely within another set. So, if G was the set 1, 2, and 3, and H is the set 1, 2, 3, 4, then G is a subset of H, because G is completely within inside H. Okay? Now, you could not say that H is a subset of G, because you've got more elements in H than you have in G. Do you understand that?
If you say something's not a subset, can you just leave it?
Yeah, just a line through. Yeah.
That's crazy.
If you see this little N, now this creeps in and people forget about it because I mention it and then it goes in one ear and out the other. Okay, so this is important stuff and it comes up a lot. So if you see a baby N with a bracket, okay, so an N in front of something is asking how many elements are in that set. It's not asking you to list them, it's not asking you what they are, it's not asking you to describe them. It's saying how many members or how many elements are in that set. So if we were talking about Miss Harrison's Year 11 maths class, we would say that the N of that set would be 14, 15. I don't know, how many are you? 14. Whatever. Okay? 14. So there are 14 elements. Now I'm not asking you to list those people, but there are 14 of them. Okay? So you all happy with that? Please. Oh, so this is just set J. Whatever you call it. Yes, correct. No, it's just that you define. So up here we call set G this, set H that, set J would just be a name of another thing. Yeah. Now, these are the most common symbols that you will see later.
For the subset thing, could you do it in the opposite direction, or is it always facing
That's a
the
very
right?
good question. I don't know. Let's just always stick with that direction. Secretly, we possibly could do it, but I don't think so.
Okay.
What's the difference between N and E?
So N is the number of people.
Yeah, same thing, no?
No, so E is just is an element of. Gabrielle is an element of Miss Harrison's Year 11 maths class. The N, the number of people in Miss Harrison's class is 14. See the difference?
Yeah.
Alright, so these are the two most common. So this here means intersection. Now it's very hard to describe this using English words because the pauses and the way you say it can change the meaning of it. So this identifies elements in both sets. So the things that are contained in both sets. Alright? So A intersection B means the elements that are in both set A and also in set B. Okay, so there could be people here, do you all do physics?
No. Yeah.
Are there any of you do
Not
physics?
all of us.
Okay, so we could have, if we said that people that do physics and the people in Miss Harrison's Year 11 maths class, then those people that just put their hand up would be in the intersection because you do both. Do you understand that?
Like a Venn diagram.
We're going to talk about Venn diagrams, yeah. Say again?
Intersectionality when you're like talking about people, like if you're black but also a woman, like that sort of thing. I don't know. It's something I might say.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I'm not
Intersectionality, it's when you're like a minority but on many levels or like privilege on
Yeah, that's what the intersection,
Yeah.
that's I guess it's the same word. It's like where, if you think about you two, an intersection of streets is where they meet, where they cross, yes? So we're saying where do these groups meet? Those people are meeting, they are in both groups, yes? This, U, means the union, okay? So again, it's important how it's written. So this means the elements that are in set A, but also in set B. So if we were talking about A union B, we would list all of you guys, because you're in Miss Harrison's math set, and also everybody else that's did physics as well. Does that make sense?
So we're talking about Miss Harrison's maths class and the physics class.
So the intersection would be just those people that did both of them. The union, I would list all of your names and the people that did physics as well. But I wouldn't repeat them. No, so that's the important thing, you don't repeat them.
So, I don't get it.
Should I combine them? Okay,
Combine them, yes.
Wait, the repeats.
Just take away the repeat.
Wait, what do you mean by repeat?
So there are some people that do physics and in my maths class. So you wouldn't write. So I would basically take all of your names and list them, and then I'd look at the physics list, list all of them, but I wouldn't repeat their names. Yes, because it's the union. So
This has 3 lists and this sounds like a game.
pardon?
This is like 3 lists.
I made it up on the spot. There has to be in both of them, and that one has to just be in order. So here we go. It's a numerical example here. So this is list A. So this is set A. This is set B. A intersection B. So I'm looking for anything that's listed in here that is also listed in here. So which numbers are listed in both? 5, 6, 7. So that would be my intersection because they are the ones in both. For my union, I'm just going to list everything but not repeat it. So I'm going to say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Because my 5, 6, and 7 I've already written, so I wouldn't repeat it. I'd write it, but I would list everything.
I got a way to remember the little simple things.
Okay?
So the union one is like a basket, right? So it holds everything, right? Whereas the intersection one is like a gate because it bars certain ones from going in.
Okay.
Good job.
I like to try and remember that the U
Oh, wait, that's so much
is a union. But also, if things are in union, they're united, so it means everyone will group together. Okay, so if it's in union, you're all together. And this one, it looks a little bit like an N. I'm using poetic license, so it's a little bit like an N for intersection. So it basically, the intersection is the one that's not the union. Okay, so as long as you remember union, the other one's going to be the intersection. Elena?
So for union, it's basically A and B.
Yes.
Okay.
Alright? But it's tricky because if you say A and D, it's in A and D. You've got to be very clear that it means A and also D, not in A and B. Yeah? See, that's why it's hard with the English. I better stop this because it's going to make